Why, hello and welcome everybody. Also, good morning. So today I wanted to go ahead and update you guys with kind of like a more endgame version for the Lightning Spear Amazon build guide, also known as the Javazon, Lightning Zon, whatever you want to call it. So as we are playing in SSF, I didn't make an update video yesterday because I had to grind my ass off to keep up with the Trade League players. So here we are currently in T15s and we got a lot to talk about. So first off, I want to say that there is a more endgame respec version where you can go energy shield based, and that's what I'll probably make tomorrow or the day after. Takes me a little bit longer to farm all this gear since I got to do it. I can't necessarily buy it, so I'm currently prepping for a hybrid ES swap. The purpose of this is to be more tanky because energy shield mechanics are unfortunately very strong compared to other defensive layers. So we'll be playing like a hybrid character similar to my monk. With that being said, in this video, we're going to focus on two items mainly. And the two items are going to be Kotoko's current gloves, which if you're playing solo self-found, the best way I found to get these is actually to farm the campaign Dreadnought. I found a pair of Kotoko's, not Kotoko's himself, but the base jeweled gloves every like 10-15 minutes, sometimes even every 5 minutes. And then when you get chance orbs when you're mapping, you can attempt to chance them. It took me 6. And then I got a very lucky drop, which is a Icicle. This shield doubles accuracy and has a very high block base for an evasion shield. I guess it's an armor shield, it's not an evasion shield. So I'm currently running on 40 block. For people who want to commit to the pure evasion style, I recommend what you do is get very high evasion on every piece. And actually, I think it's worth going acrobatics and then block capping. So to block cap, you can simply take these 3 points here, and then you can swing on over and grab glancing hits. I don't know if it's worth taking this as well. May not block cap you, but it'll probably get you like 55%, maybe 60%. That combined with acro should be pretty comfortable. So for the sake of this video, I also recombinated and crafted a crazy weapon. You don't need a weapon anything like this to map on the character. The weapon will mainly enhance your single target. So an example of like previous spears I was using would be things like, I believe this was my previous spear that I had. This spear was getting the job done, no problem. Of course, you know, the better weapon, the stronger your character is going to be, so don't be discouraged if you don't have something crazy. I wouldn't really recommend going into Penetrate unless you have a nice accuracy roll on your weapon. As for that, we've also ascended and gained our Uber Lab, where I went Predatory Instinct, and you can see here. I dropped the Leech just because I started dying only to ground effects, and there's nothing that Leech can do to protect against ground effects. So I'm going to glance over my gear really fast, and we'll explain some interactions while I am currently mapping. My accessories are still really bad, and I gotta replace those bad boys. So let's go ahead and jump into our map. Okay, to cover our gem links, and then we're going to continue on. My infused weapon has Neural Overload, Blind, Conduction, and Lightning Exposure. Storm Lance has Primal Armament, Concentrated Effect, Lightning Infusion, Blindside, and Deliberation. Lightning Spear has Volt, most important gem here. Bullseye, Perpetual Charge, Fork, and Longshot. I have been liking Fork a lot, and it allows me to use Deliberation on Stormlance. Herald of Thunder currently has Maim, Innervate, Ele Focus. I'd put Deadly Herald if you have enough Spirit. Sniper's Mark has Profusion, Inspiration, Ingenuity, and Arcane Tempo. I really only need to use this at the start of a map or bosses now. Thunderous Leap basically just has Tempo. Combat Frenzy has Precision. It's not mandatory. Wind Dancer has Life Thief and Defy, so when I do get hit, it procs, pushes everything back in general, and then I heal off that. I'm also considering, I tried Pin, it was okay on it. And then on Spearfield, I very rarely use this. It has like Rage. Basically, like if there's an Essence, I'll just tap the Spearfield. Okay, so what the Kotoko's current gloves do is they make it so I don't need to run Electrocution on my Stormlance anymore. This makes for a very nice playstyle, so I basically just do that, right? Now, I know because people are going to ask right away, so you can see my tooltip here. I don't know how accurate tooltips are, so there's Lightning Spear and there's Stormlance. Now, when you have the Kotoko's current gloves, you don't need to spam Sniper's Mark as much for charges. And the reasoning for this is because your Lightning Spear can now automatically electrocute. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why don't I just put Electrocute on Lightning Spear if I don't have the gloves? And you can absolutely do that. You can even put them on your Herald of Thunder if you choose to. The only issue that occurs here is when you are trying to hit a boss, a rogue exile, an essence mob, right? You will not have consistent electrocution. Maybe an essence will work because there's a lot of ads, right? That's the only downside of doing that. If you have Kotokos, everything you do regarding lightning damage will automatically apply electrocution, right? So the choice is really up to you on how you want to do it. I personally just went with the Sniper's Mark version, which is just spamming left click all the time. It's not the cleanest, but you know, it's still pretty smooth. In terms of a POE2 build, I'd say it's pretty smooth.
Gotta pick up the pace.
Now, like I said, the area where this shield comes in is that it doubles your character's accuracy. When you double your accuracy, you are getting extremely consistent levels of critical strike. Now, a lot of people have been saying that the critical strike on the sheet is not correct. I can't really comment on that. Here is what I can comment on. I have extremely consistent frenzy charge generation. That is primarily coming from the Kotoko gloves, but when I put on the Lycosade, I noticed that my clear went up massively, and the only reason I can assume is because I'm now basically critting every mob. And my crit chance, if you look at my lightning spear, or my crit multi, is 500%. It'll go up more when we respec to the ES version. But that 500% basically means if I crit, I do 5 times damage. If I don't, I do 5 times less damage, right? So, Lycosade for sure got me very close to crit cap, I would like to say. So here's an example. I have 1 frenzy charge. I'll just pop a Sniper's Mark. Now I have 3, right? Now I get 3 javelin throws. That one didn't consume. That one didn't consume, or it consumed, then I generated it back. Same thing with that one. So you can see the playstyle really does kind of turn into like a 1-button build. With that being said, I don't think the build is going to get nerfed just because they already buffed it, and everyone complained about how weak Amazon is. So if they now nerf Amazon, people are going to be very unhappy. It's just the nature of how the community is. Furthermore, this type of playstyle does take a little bit more to set up compared to like the Double Herald shenanigan from last league. You know, Double Herald last league, you literally just set up Double Herald. You barely needed to do anything, so. Okay, so here's like the spear field, for example. I don't think I'll be able to like hit her right now. Yeah, she already ran away. I could try. Oh, no, she went that way. Oh, no. No, fuck this. Okay, I'll just spam spear field, then she'll give me rage. There we go. Alright, so snipers, throw your single targets. Sniper again. Right, and you just basically rotate this. There you go. The reason you want to rotate is Sniper's Mark gets consumed, which gives you giga damage on the consumption, because that's just how it states. When you crit a target on Sniper's Mark, you gain frenzy charges, right? We use the support gem on snipers, so we have a 50% chance at getting double frenzy charges, and then you basically just rotate it. It may seem a little clunky at first, but I promise, once you get that first electrocution going, you can pretty much just blast most bosses with the build. Even if your weapon is like kind of poopy, you'll still probably do like more than half of the target's life in one electrocution combo. There are a few bosses that suck for this build, one of them being like Balbala. If you guys remember, like the boss you need to kill to ascend the first time, that boss sucks because, or to get like the item to go ascend. That boss sucks because number one, it has a very small hitbox. For sure, when it comes to Lightning Spear and Amazon skills in general, it's very easy to miss the target with the initial hit. If you miss the target with the initial hit, there's a good chance you're also missing the Infusion proc. That means you're also probably missing the Herald of Thunder proc. And you'll notice like immediately like, okay, that's where a lot of the damage comes from, right? It's not just spamming your Stormlance. It's having all of the other things proc while your Stormlance is going off, right? So there are definitely a few bosses that are annoying, but most bosses that are like regular size don't really have an issue. And to be fair, I think most people don't like Balbala or have an issue with it because like this build is not the slowest when it comes to attacking. You know, think of like a Perfect Strike Warrior. You're not hitting Balbala unless you get him in like a stun lock, right? Okay, other than that, that pretty much covers most things. I will tell you that if you're playing the ES variant, you really want to get Bonus Spirit on an Amulet because you want to fit in Ghost Dance. You guys can go ahead and take a look at my jewels. They're really bad. I don't really have anything good on them. Basically, like attack speed, lightning damage has been kind of some core things. Crit chance, crit multi. Actually, crit chance are probably one of the stronger ones on the build. So that is pretty much it, though. I am really loving the character. Goals, swapping to CI, or not CI, but ES-based. and just seeing how far we can push the character. I barely have done like any league mechanics on the Atlas. We've pretty much just done this, and I gotta do some more unique maps. But yeah, so far really liking the character. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. You can expect next week for me to have a written guide on PoE Vault, but for now, you guys have the YouTube progression guides. Do remember that if you are watching the video, over here is going to be a Google Sheets that's linked. The loot filter is right here. The build updates are going to be right here. You also have the Venom Draught and then the PoE Ninja link. The PoE Ninja link is very clean. You can see all of my gear right here. You can see my jewels. You can also see all the support gems and everything we are using. And for people who want to plug it into POB, you got that right there. Anyway, I am out for now. I'm going to go live on twitch.tv/Pohx. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And as always, I'll see you guys all tomorrow.